Hey everyone, welcome back to more Ace Attorney.
So last we left off, we were in the middle of a trial. The very first trial, I guess. I guess kind of to start off everything. Yeah. Right. Court will now reconvene, Mr. Payne. Please call your witness. This next person is someone who witnessed the crime as it happened. Prosecution calls Miss Dahlia Hartthorne to the stand. Oh, wow. What's with this stiff silence? In my long career as a judge, I have been deceived by many witnesses. It's my job to doubt, to take no one at their word. In your case, I must admit, you radiate a glow of complete sincerity. I can't believe he actually said that. Oh, now then, witness, could you please state your full name? I am... Don't worry, sweetie. There's no need to be nervous. If anyone says anything rude, you can be sure I'll cut them right down to size. And I'll bash them with my gavel. I love how they look straight at me when they say that. Thank you for calming my nerves. You're all so nice. I almost feel right at home. Not at all. It was nothing. What? If we may move on now, what's your full name and occupation? My name is Dahlia Hartthorne. I'm a junior in literature at Ivy University. I just want to say, it's an honor for me to be here in your noble presence. The honor is all mine. No, the honor is all mine. Well, we know whose milkshake brings all the boys to the yard. Sir, is there something I can help you with? You just go on and say whatever it is on your mind. I'm sure that there must be some kind of mistake. Feeny wouldn't kill anyone, I just know it. Yes, I can see why you'd say that. She's going to be a tough witness, alright. It only took her 12 seconds to wrap them all around her little finger. Now then, please proceed with your testimony. Let's hear about what you witnessed on the day of the incident, if you please. Okay. I had been planning to go back to Feeny's place after class was over. Feeny and Dougie, they were talking behind the building. Then, suddenly, Dougie got all wobbly and just collapsed. That's when Feeny noticed I was there. I went to go and find some other students. I went to go and find some other students, and they called the authorities. I don't know what to say. According to you, Miss Hawthorne, the defendant didn't do anything wrong. Young lady! As old as I am, even I recall how hot the flames of young passion can burn. Nevertheless, it is my job to discover the truth. Please tell us the truth. But I would never. That's more than enough, witness. I won't allow this to continue. What do you mean by that? Please, just let me proceed with my cross-examination, Your Honor. I, for one, don't plan to win my case on a bunch of paper-thin lies. Teehee, you haven't changed a bit. Mia Fey? What's this? So you two are acquainted? Yes, we met before, once. We have? In any case, Miss Fey, the floor is all yours. It's good to see you again, Madam Fey. Madam? I'm no one's grandma yet, girlie. Okay. Now, unless I'm mistaken, Feeny, I mean, Mr. Wright was in the art department. If that's the case, then what were you doing by the pharmacology building? Well, I'm in the literature department. I'm studying Japanese senryu poetry. I don't know if I said that right. Ho ho! How wonderful! Is that humor? It's that humorous yet sartical. Satire. It's satire. Sartical? Satirical? Satirical. I guess that's how you say it. I had to like break down the word. I was like, what? So humorous yet satirical style of haiku, yes. Nothing left to do. When a man reaches his age, sleep is his best friend. That's supposed to be poetry? Sounds more like a midlife crisis. For me to get to the art department, I have to walk through the back area. Ah, yes, I see, that makes sense. When I went to enter the courthouse, I always walked through the front doors. How else would you enter? Teleportation? Feeny and Dougie, they were talking behind the building. So, who is this Dougie person? Oh, I'm sorry. Doug Swallow. We were dating until about 8 months ago. So what were Dougie... Mr. Swallow and Mr. Wright talking about anyway? How can you be so mean? I would never eavesdrop. I wasn't raised to be so rude and unrefined. That's right, Miss Faye. Don't drag the witness down to your level. Why am I being demonized here? Please go on. What did you see next? Are you saying that the victim just collapsed on his own? Yes. In other words, the defendant never touched the victim. Is that right? I was watching the whole time. Feeny never did a thing to Dougie. Press her for no good reason. I'll just know the judge will get angry with me. So what should I do about her testimony just now? Show contradiction. Feeble lies are not very becoming, Miss Hawthorne, so let's drop them, shall we? What? I would never. Miss Faye, I will not allow you to badger this witness. I believe the defense is engaged in a fishing expedition. That is, she has no supporting... Please don't glare at me like that. I'm just doing my job. Now then, Miss Hawthorne. Defendant's palm print was found on Mr. Swallow's leather jacket. It was already been shown that Mr. Wright did, in fact, push the victim. What? There's no need to try to cover for the defendant. It would be much better if you came out and told us the whole truth. There's nothing to worry about, young lady. Just tell us everything that you saw. Yes, Your Honor, I will. If you don't mind, I'd like to revise my testimony. Looks like we're finally getting somewhere. Actually, I didn't see the moment he pushed Dougie. You didn't see it? Well, I saw the moment when Dougie fell to the ground. And at the time, there were only 2 of them at the scene. Phoenix Wright and the victim, Doug Swallow. Yes, that's right. So then, what did it look like they were doing to you? I thought they were having a nice friendly afternoon conversation. Oh, give me a break. That's why I really wasn't watching them all that closely. Did you notice anything out of the ordinary at all? No, nothing at all, Mr. Judge. Oh, I like the sound of that, Mr. Judge. Now then, please proceed with your testimony. I want to go and find some other students, and they called the authorities. Okay, I'll press this for now. When you say students, do you mean students from the pharmacology department? Yes, they were all very fond of their drugs. please stay on topic? So, to find some pharmacology students, you went to the labs, correct? That's what I was planning to do. In the end, I wound up not going. A group of about 10 research students came running out of the building entrance. Somehow, they all seemed to know what was going on. Students knew what was going on. But how could the students have known what was going on? Well, I don't know for sure that they knew what had happened. It's just, they all seemed kind of excited about something. Doesn't look like I'm going to get any more info about the students. So did the students call the police? Yes, I was so panicked. Yes, well, everyone would have been, my dear. That girl, she's telling a super obvious lie, and she knows it. I'm gonna have to go back through that. She's just pretending to protect Mr. Wright. Yes, that's gotta be it. Way to go, Mia. Okay, that means I'm going to have to dig deep to find the contradiction of this one. Oh, excuse me. Oh my god, dude! My brain! You say you didn't hear anything unusual. Oh my god. Is that correct? Yes, that's why I feel very relaxed looking at the scenery around me. My brain was working so hard. I was like, ugh. I was not ready to play this dice, but that's nice, but I find that just a little odd. I have here the testimony of your boyfriend, Mr. Felix Wright. Clearly testified to the effect that when he pushed the victim, he heard a sharp, loud noise. He said that. If you were really that close to the two of them, why didn't you hear this noise as well? Well, maybe the noise wasn't all that memorable. According to Mr. Wright's testimony, it was a sharp noise like a snap. No way a noise like that could fail to make an impression. May I have a moment to answer? By all means. I know the reason why I didn't hear the noise. You see, the truth is, I had my headphones on, and I was listening to music at the time. Headphones? You mean that both of your ears were covered? The rain was just beginning to let up, but it seemed as though Thor wasn't ready for his fun to come to an end yet. So the sky continued to flash and rumble. Thunder and lightning, huh? Yes, I'm afraid of the sound of thunder. So I put my headphones on to block it out. Well, Your Honor, as you can see, there weren't any contradictions in her testimony after all. What do you say, Mia? The testimony just now. She said something that could totally change this whole case. The fact that there was lightning? Was it storming? I don't think it was. I didn't remember it was storming. Doesn't look like it. Let's do a save. She didn't hear anything. She was listening to music. There was lightning. She didn't hear anything. She was listening to music. I guess the fact that there was lightning? Your Honor, there is a problem with the witness's testimony. What do you mean? Didn't you notice? She said there was lightning, correct? Yes, what about it? Well, lightning is actually a large discharge of electricity in the atmosphere, am I right? Now's not the time for a science lesson, Miss Faye. Yes, Your Honor. Anyway, since the cause of death was electrocution, Isn't it possible that the victim died from being hit by a bolt of lightning? I must admit that the thought had not occurred to me before. Just what kind of thoughts do occur to this guy anyway? This entire case is built on the premise that Mr. Doug Swallowed was murdered. But that very premise itself is mistaken. Defense believes that Mr. Swallowed was in fact the victim of a stray bolt. It appears the defense may be onto something. Could it be that the death was actually accidental? Alright, you did it, Mia. I'll be taking that not guilty. Oh. I'm hurt that you have such a low opinion of me, Miss Faye. Huh? I'm not a fool, you know. The prosecution has done its research, Your Honor. We found that there were no lightning strikes on the day at the location. What? What's more, we have evidence that the electrical cable is definitely linked to this case. Evidence, Mr. Payne? Well, what's this evidence? This affidavit. And whose affidavit is that? Sorry, you say the affidavit? From pharmacology students who were conducting experiments in their labs that day. Allow me to read aloud the court testimony of the pharmacology students. All equipment in the labs lost power all of a sudden around 3 p.m. that day. Was it a blackout? All the lab's equipment runs on high voltage, Your Honor. So you're saying the equipment lost power because... Precisely. They lost power because of the severed electrical cable. The power outage occurred approximately 3 p.m., which fits the time of death listed in the autopsy report. Exactly. In other words, the victim died as a result of touching the severed electrical cable. According to the students, the cables were very old. They were planning on having them replaced in the near future. I see. Apparently the cables have become so brittle that even the smallest bump would have caused them to break. Due to some sort of impact. However, there is one thing that troubles me. If the cable could have been broken by any small bump, then it wouldn't have snapped if it hadn't been bumped into, correct? Well, I suppose you could say that. Miss Faye, do you have any thoughts regarding the case of the cause of the severed cable? Your Honor? I don't like how this is looking one bit. I have to come up with something to try and regain some momentum. If it pleases the court, the defense would like to state its opinion. Well then, let's hear it. Who or what was it that caused the cable to break? The umbrella? That would be my guess. This is it. This is why the cable snapped. Well, Your Honor? I believe that's the only thing that has snapped is the mind of the defense. Oh, that's one of your best lines yet, Your Honor. Ugh, dang. That was harsh. Oh. Please, Your Honor, give me one more chance. Or what was it that caused the cable to break? So it wasn't the umbrella? Oh, I can read this. Who or what was it? Are you supposed to put a person here? I'm confuzzled. It said some sort of impact. How low are these cables? They're quite high up. So I don't think it could have been just from him being pushed. Like I imagine he'd have to like be pushed into like the actual cable. Should I present a person? No, that's wrong. So maybe when he fell? Oh, okay. Your Honor, please think back to the Mr. Wright's testimony. The defendant's testimony. He said that after he pushed the victim, he heard a loud, sharp noise. Now this happened around 3 p.m., correct? Yes, that sounds right. Wait, are you saying that? The lab equipment lost power at 2:55 p.m., which fits in Mr. Wright's timeline. In other words, it was Mr. Wright's shove that caused the power outage. Okay. I'm getting there. Yes, the prosecution also came to that same conclusion. And it was that very shove that caused Mr. Swallow to be electrocuted. I'm afraid I can't agree with you there, Mr. Payne. What's that supposed to mean? Take a look at where the victim landed after being shoved. See that umbrella? It's by the electrical pole. That's right, the victim banged into that pole as a result of being pushed. It was the impact that caused the cable to break. Well, that makes sense, and then the victim was electrocuted. Sorry, Your Honor, but no, it doesn't make sense at all. The victim was shoved into the far pole. Then he couldn't have been electrocuted by this severed cable in the foreground here. In other words, someone other than my client must have electrocuted the victim. Right. Order! Order in the court! Ah, the lamentations of my enemy. How I've longed to hear them. It's true, the defense is absolutely correct. There doesn't seem to be any way the defendant... Mr. Judge, sir, may I say something? The Madam Attorney's explanation. She said some things that are a little different than I remember them. What? What the? Please, just once more. May I testify one last time, please, Mr. Judge? Of course, it's a right. Just go ahead and give your new testimony. This is it. She's finally starting to show her true colors. The truth is, Feeney pushed him twice. Twice? The first time was into the electrical pole. That's when the cable broke. Then Dougie tried his best to run away from him. But Feeney caught up and crashed into him from behind. The cable snapping and Dougie being electrocuted. It all occurred in less than a minute. So after being shoved, the victim got up and tried to run away. And that is when the defendant pushed him for the second time. I'm sorry, Feeney, but I just have to tell the truth. Am I doing the right thing? Am I, Mr. Judge? Of course you are, my dear. As painful as it may seem, you are. Now then, Miss Faye, you may proceed with your cross-examination. Twice? Miss Hawthorne, Previously in your testimony, you said the following. Actually, I didn't see the moment he pushed Dougie. I know. I'm sorry. I wanted to protect Feeny. So that's why you basically lied to the court. I was a bad girl, I know. Mr. Judge. Yes. Would you please forgive little old me? Of course he won't. What you did is called prejur... Oh, come on now. It was just a little old lie. We'll forget it this time, but please be more careful from now on, alright? Oh, thank you so much, Mr. Judge. Not at all. The judge had better be more careful himself. A dark alley is friendlier than that girl. You're saying you actually saw the victim get pushed into the electrical pool. I know he doesn't look it, but Feeny can be a bit of an imp when he wants to be. Oh, really? But I never imagined that he would cause an electrical cable to break. Feeny really is scary when he gets mad. Yes, he sounds like a very dangerous individual indeed. So let me get this straight. You're happily listening to music on your headphones while you watch the scene unfold? What? Miss Faye, I'll have to ask you to stop badgering the witness. I wasn't happy. I was so scared that I couldn't even move. All I could do was stand there and cheer them on. Cheer them on? What do you mean by that? Well, I wish the best for them both, and that they would give the fight, and that they each give the fight their all. That's very sweet of you to be so supportive. What? That's so weird. If you saw it happening, you would try to like get help or break it up or something. What? What happened after that? Okay. That doesn't sound quite right. There are handprints found on the chest of the victim's leather jacket. Mr. Payne, were there also prints found in the back of his leather jacket? Well, no, there weren't. Madam Faye, may I suggest that you listen more carefully? Said that he crashed into him from behind, right? My Feeny wouldn't leave any prints behind in that case, would he? I don't know. Okay. Did you actually witness the moment the victim was electrocuted? I'm sorry, I didn't actually see it. I turned my eyes away. That's understandable. Yes, indeed, it would have been a horrific sight for anyone to behold. I didn't figure out the contradiction here. It's all over. She didn't have much time to come up with her lie, so this is my best chance. Must be a hole in her testimony somewhere. Think, Mia. Okay, let me look at my evidence. Done watch stopped at the time of death. 3 o'clock. Hand clutched in the victim's hand. $2:55, and he died at 3 o'clock. Okay. It all occurred in less than a minute. There. That's what it is. Okay. Because he died at 3. That's a whole other 4 minutes not accounted for. Right? Yeah. That's enough, witness. I'm afraid I don't understand. You will in a minute. Could you please take a look at this picture? Oh, that medicine. That's the one Feeny likes to take for his cold. It's not the medicine I want you to look at. It's the wristwatch. It stopped at the precise time the victim was electrocuted. In other words, 3:05 p.m. Oh, I'm glad it told me. I was like, 3 something? Yes, and your point is, Miss Faye. My point is this. What time was it when the labs suffered that power outage due to the cable snapping? Well, according to the student's testimony, the answer is clear. It was 2:55. Would you care to explain to the court, Miss Dahlia Hawthorne, what exactly happened during this 10-minute interval? Okay, there we go. The defense proposes that it was during the interval that the real murderer killed Mr. Doug Swallow. Order! Order! This is nonsense. The real murderer? Even you can't deny that the time between the cable breaking and the electrocution are completely unaccounted for. Then who was it? Who else are you saying could have done it? She swipes her bangs. There's only one person who could have murdered Mr. Swallow. Only after my client had left the scene. There was a window of opportunity for the real killer. Miss Faye, is the defense ready to indict someone as the real killer? It's finally time. This is the moment I've been waiting for. Yes, Your Honor. We're ready. Very well, but remember, if you accuse the wrong person, you will be penalized. Think very carefully before you speak, Miss Faye. Now then, Miss Faye, let's have it. Who's the real killer? I guess we're gonna say Dahlia. Take that. It could only have been you. Dahlia Hawthorne. What? How? How can you? The defense is grasping at straws. 10 minutes passed between the time the cable broke and the time of the electrocution. What exactly were you doing that whole time, Miss Hawthorne? Were you really listening to some music while cheering them both on as they fought? I find it hard to believe that you didn't lift a finger to stop the men dearest to you. Yeah, that's definitely weird. Order, order, Miss Faye. What? I mean, why? That is to say, Miss Hawthorne, I believe you did witness the two men fighting on that day. However, after Mr. Wright pushed the victim and subsequently left the scene, it was you who pushed Mr. Swallow to his death by your very own hands. How can you say something so mean, Madam Faye? I didn't do anything. Miss Faye, this is a very serious charge you are... Oh my gosh! Your Honor, please, I have something I want to say. You? What is it? Please, please, strike everything the defense said just now from the record. What the? Are you daft? You're totally wrong, Miss Faye. Dolly, she couldn't do something like that. Mr. Wright, get back to your seat. Bailiff, grab that man. Ah! Achoo, achoo. Leave my Dolly alone. That boy. He's gotten himself in way over his head. Oh, Mr. Grossberg, you're back. It seems I arrived just in the nick of time. I found the police reports on the incident in your newspaper clipping. I forgot he was doing that! Let's go. Thank you so much. This is exactly what I was hoping for. Okay, let me, can I look? Look. Let's look at it. This would be here. Report on the incident 8 months ago. Incident overview. Location, District Courthouse Cafeteria. Daytime, August 27th, 4 p.m. Victim, Diego Armando, age 28. Occupation, lawyer. Suspect, Dahlia Hawthorne, age 19. Oh. Armando ingested poison while interviewing the suspect regarding another case. Traces of poison were found in the victim's coffee cup. No poison was found in the vicinity or on the suspect's person. It's unclear how the poison entered the victim's coffee cup. Isn't that strange? You better take a good look at it. It details how you came to lose your boyfriend. Diego was my boyfriend? Or I guess Mia's boyfriend? What? So then maybe that's how she knew me then. Okay. Now the defense has made a very serious accusation. Mr. Payne, what do you have to say about this? Well, really, Your Honor. I'm sorry. May I interrupt you for just a moment, Mr. Prosecutor? Don't worry, my dear. I have the situation well in hand. That is, go right ahead. Madam Faye, are you seriously accusing me of killing my sweet Dougie? Yes, I am. Not only am I saying you murdered Doug Swallow, but you also tried to pin the whole thing on your current lover, Phoenix Wright. I told you that you should let me handle this. Sorry, please go ahead. How can you say that? I'm absolutely devoted to my dear Feeny. The notion that I would try to frame him is ludicrous. This is all just too much for poor little me to bear. I believe the girl is trying to ask what on earth her motive would be. The answer to that lies somewhere in this police report. I must. Okay, 8 months ago, an incident occurred in the basement cafeteria of this building. And then that same day, the two of them accidentally meet. Your Honor, the defense requests further testimony from Miss Dahlia Hawthorne. Further testimony? About what? About the events of the day when she first met the defendant, Mr. Phoenix Wright. What could that possibly have to do with this case? The witness claims that she has no reason to frame the defendant, am I correct? Well, I have evidence that suggests that she, in fact, had a very good reason. Very well then. The court grants the defense's request. Young lady, would you mind staying on for just a bit longer? Of course not, Mr. Judge. Get ready for the battle of your life, Dahlia Hawthorne. Hey, I'm recording. I was like, everything's recording, right? Alright, I met my Feeny. First time I met my darling Feeny 8 months ago. It's like we were destined to meet in this very courthouse basement reading room. The moment our eyes met, my heart skipped a beat. Been going out ever since that fateful day. We're so lovey-wovey, we literally make people sick. It's just jealousy, I think. Mr. Wright, do that again and you will be held in contempt of court. And now we enter the final act of our little drama. As we used to say in the days of my youth, go get her. "8 months ago. So until that time, you had been dating Doug Swallow. Yes, I'm a real fool, you know. Letting my emotions change so quickly. I'm ashamed of myself. No, not at all. Look at me, I'm infamous for changing my mind. My critics have even taken to calling me Judge Fickle. Ho ho ho. Maybe you should look for a different line of work. Despite that, however, he always hands down the correct verdict. That's why some people also call him the Great Judgeony. Meet in the Spirit Courthouse basement reading room. Courthouse reading room. It's a strange place to meet the love of your life. That's not true, Madame Faye. After all, Feeny was not only an art student, but he was also planning on becoming a lawyer. I'm not talking about him. I'm talking about you, Miss Hawthorne. What was a literature student like you doing in the courthouse reading room? This line of questioning is a waste of time. It has nothing to do with our murder case. Miss Faye, I'm warning you. If this has nothing to do with Mr. Swallow's case, to remember the judge is on Dahlia's side. Better tread carefully. Because I feel like this is where we're going to present the police report, correct? Keep pressing. Your Honor, if you allow me some latitude, I think I can establish relevance. Please ask her to continue with her testimony. Very well. Young lady, I've got a simple question for you. What were you doing downstairs in the courthouse reading room? If it pleases Your Honor, the answer is simply this. Come to this courthouse to do some research. Some research for a paper I was writing. You're writing a paper. On what? On the relationship between modern Senryu poetry and the criminal underworld. Oh, that sounds like a fascinating research idea. Am I getting old? That I've even forgotten what I've forgotten. Again with the midlife crisis stuff. Yeah, why did that girl really come to the courthouse? Isn't that what you wanted to know? Speaking of forgetting things, you haven't forgotten the police report, have you? No! I just want as much information as possible. I went through a lot of work, a lot of trouble to get it, my dear. So please be sure to read it carefully. I guess I should just present it. Going on ever since, because none of these have to do with anything. There we go. Miss Hawthorne, you weren't here because of your research paper, were you? Didn't you actually come here for a much more important reason? What is the meaning of that cocky smile on your face, Miss Faye? 8 months ago, right here in this very courthouse, there was another tragedy. Another tragedy? Do you mean the incident in which an attorney was poisoned? The name of the suspect that is in the incident the name of the suspect in that incident is listed here in this report. And that name is Dahlia Hawthorne. What? Dahlia Hawthorne? Yes, the sweetie pie of everyone's eyes, Miss Dahlia Hawthorne. She was the prime suspect in a criminal case just 8 months ago. Order, order, order! This is unbelievable. If it's true then, the loveliest rose can hide— Oh! Miss Faye, that's not fair. You can't slander my witness under an unrelated case. I, Winston Payne, will not— Mr. Prosecutor, I believe I was speaking. Oh, pardon me. Go right ahead. It's true that about 8 months ago, the police expressed some interest in me. Expressed some interest, huh? Mr. Judge, sir, I know I'm under oath, so I'll tell you the absolute truth. I did not commit the crime that occurred during that incident 8 months ago. I see. Okay, I tied the two crimes together. Now I just got to stay on the offensive. Well done, Mia. Ooh, you really lit a fire in my heart and my buttocks. Can only tell which is more inflamed, my spirit or my hemorrhoids. I met the lawyer who was poisoned to discuss something in the cafeteria that day. I left my seat for just a moment, and that's when it happened. From what I heard, it was a liquid poison that is lethal at just 2 teaspoons. Not only that, I heard it was a very special kind of poison. You see, I'm innocent. I wouldn't even know where to get a poison like that. I think you do. You dated a pharmacology student. So that's what happened here 8 months ago. However, as you've heard from the witness's testimony, she had nothing to do with it. I think the defense is just out of old tricks. I'm terribly sorry, Mr. Payne. But I'm afraid the defense has many more tricks up its sleeve today. And I'll be sure to show them to you before the end of this cross-examination. Ugh, what the? Why does the defense suddenly feel stronger? The power is unbearing. Aha, Mia, you're glowing with a true lawyer's aura, my dear. Proud posture and self-confidence. Absolutely smashing. Let's go. What were you talking about with the defense attorney? Well, I'm sorry, but that's confidential. According to the reports, you were being interviewed regarding another case. The lawyer that was killed. He said he wanted to talk about an incident I was caught up in when I was younger. Why don't you tell us all what that incident was? That absolutely has nothing to do with this case. Objection sustained. The defense's question is stricken from the record. You get involved in a lot of incidents, don't you, Miss Hawthorne? Well, I guess I was just born under a bad sign. Don't worry, Dolly. I'll protect you. You heard the man. Now that is true love, young lady. Oh, Feeny, please. These two really are making me ill. Albeit for decidedly different reasons. How long were you gone? I've already answered all these questions for the police. You must know, maybe 10 or 20 minutes. And what were you doing? What were you doing? What were you? No. And where were you during that stretch of time? Using the toilet? What are you saying, Miss Faye? Toilet, my perfect little dolly doesn't poop. Oh my god. You heard the defendant is better look next. Oh no. Oh, Finny, please. The police have already looked into this whole matter. Line of questioning is nothing but a waste of the court's time. Objection sustained, Miss Hawthorne. Please continue with your testimony. About how much liquid is 2 teaspoons? Well, let me see. My bottle of eye drops says it's half a fluid ounce, which is equal to 3 teaspoons. But 2/3 of that amount, huh? The poison was found in the lawyer's mug of coffee. It must have been after I left the table. Someone must have quietly slipped it in there. A special kind of poison. How so? Well, I heard that it's almost impossible to detect. Oh, and where would something like that come from? I'm sorry, all I know is what I overheard the policeman saying. He said something about using advanced chemical processes to purify it. Chemical processes? That's quite impressive. Most impressive. But a question is, how did the criminal get something like that? And that's the reason they didn't arrest you. Because no one could show you how you could have gotten the poison. I think that's good enough reason, Madame Faye. She's right, and I think we've all had enough of Miss Faye's questions. So in essence, the main reason Miss Hawthorne was never arrested for this crime was because no one could show how she could have obtained the poison. Then all we have to do is find a way to establish how she could have gotten some, right? Great. Now just how did a lit student get a hold of poison of all things? Well, I guess it would be profiles. Here we go. You wouldn't know how to get that kind of poison. I don't believe you. What? In fact, you had easy access to that kind of poison, didn't you? At your boyfriend's lab. Boyfriend? You mean the victim, Doug Swallow? That's right. Up until 8 months ago, Miss Hawthorne was dating Mr. Swallow. And if you recall, Mr. Swallow was a pharmacology student at Ivy University. Pharmacology? His laboratory contained highly advanced chemistry equipment. In fact, without such equipment, the culprit could never have attained such a rare and special poison. Well, Miss Hawthorne, it seems you had access to such a poison after all. And then it was a matter of slipping it into the victim's coffee when he wasn't looking. The only person who could have done that was the one sitting at his very table, you. Order, order, order. Could it be? That's nothing. May I say something, Madam Faye? What is it, Miss Hawthorne? The amount of poison in the coffee was 2 teaspoons, correct? In order to carry that much liquid, you need some kind of a container. Well, yes, that's true. I researched immediately after the incident took place. Quite true. In fact, the entire courthouse was turned upside down. They didn't find a suspicious container anywhere, did they? She's right. They didn't mention that in the report. Could have easily gotten rid of that something that small. Excuse me, madam, but this is a court of law. If you're saying I threw the poison container away, I think you need to show some kind of proof. Proof? She got me good with that. Provide some evidence, or I'll have to disallow this line of questioning, Miss Faye. Unless we can come up with some evidence, we're going to lose this lead. Police conducted a full-body search of Dahlia and the entire courthouse. Yet, the container holding the poison disappeared right after the crime occurred. Going to accuse the young lady of committing the murder. Where is the container the poison was carried in? What happened to it? Cold killer? That's the only Oh! The necklace! The necklace! You were forced to get rid of the container in a hurry, weren't you? And that's why you passed it on to someone that had nothing to do with the case. Someone that you knew wouldn't be searched. Oh my god! Who is this person? Mr. Phoenix Wright, of course. So the defendant was this witness's accomplice? Of course not. She gave the poison to him, disguised as a present. What? But that's... That's a charming little necklace. Is this a little bottle? It's really quite cute. So what about it? What does it mean, Miss Faye? The day that the witness met and fell for Mr. Phoenix Wright was 8 months ago, August 27th, the very same day as the poisoning incident. Under the pretense of love, the witness gave my client a present. All for the purpose of hiding the one piece of evidence that would give her away. What? Are you saying there's a deadly poison in here? No, there's no longer any poison in that bottle. However, I'm certain if the crime lab were to analyze it, they would find a trace amount. No! Order in the court. On behalf of Dolly, I object! Mr. Wright, control yourself. I won't let you bully her like this. Mr. Wright, I thought I told you to stay in your seat. Mr. Wright, why? Why are you going through so much trouble to protect her? Why? Because I'm madly in love with her. Madly in love. I haven't heard anyone say that in a long time. Mr. Wright, have you ever thought about this? Why exactly would a woman like Dahlia Hawthorne want to date you anyway? Well, I guess she must be madly in love with me too. Mr. Wright, please open your eyes. At this point in the trial, I think it would be obvious to everyone. The reason that Dahlia Hawthorne is dating you is because of that necklace. Dahlia Hawthorne was not and is not madly in love with you. The only thing she's after is that bottle necklace you love to wear around your neck. My necklace? Back there in the waiting room, you said it yourself. Yeah, but she's so shy. Every time I see her, she always says the same thing to me. Please give it back now. What a strange girl asking for a present back like that. Right. For Dahlia Hawthorne, that necklace is irrefutable evidence of her crime. That's why she absolutely had to get it back. You're lying. But you never gave it back to her. To make things worse for her, you insisted on showing it to everyone you met. That's why she... Oh, I don't believe you. No, that's a lie! Mia, are you alright? The defendant, he's getting away! Bailiff, hurry! Whoa, what's happening? Mia, are you alright? Yes, I think so. That boy, he went completely insane! Where's Mr. Wright? Looks like the bailiff caught him, so he should be back soon enough. Thank goodness. Oh no. What is it? The bottle necklace. Miss Hawthorne's present. It's gone. What? That's terrible. Mr. Wright must have grabbed it when he slammed into me. Foolish boy. That's the only thing that could have saved him. What blazes are we supposed to do now? Oh my god. Mr. Wright, this sort of behavior is unprecedented in the history of this court. I'm sorry. Afraid that your apology is not enough. Mr. Wright, what did you do with the bottle necklace? Forgive me. I'm sorry. It's okay, just give back the necklace. I ate it. You what? You ate it. It was too big to swallow, so I had to chew it into little bits first, but yeah. What the? What? What is he doing now? I don't think that's good. Your Honor, you have got to stop the trial. Mr. Wright, are you feeling okay? Does your stomach hurt? The bottle you swallowed may have some poison left in it. Seeing the defendant has proven the prosecution's case for us. Clearly that bottle did not contain a deadly poison. How can you be so sure? I think that's obvious. As you can see, the defendant is still very much alive. Well, it had to be... How much? It had to be like 2 teaspoons, but the bottle is essentially empty, right? It was like... It had to be 2 teaspoons. Okay. Oh, I didn't read that. Did I read that? I don't know. Oh well. So it would seem. No, there must be some mistake. The bottle must not have had any poison left in it. Either that, poison must have lost its potency. That's a possibility too. There. It's alright, Rookie. Trusting your client is the most noble thing a defense attorney can do. And it's heartwarming to see that you place this much faith in Mr. Wright. That's how it is for us on the prosecution's side too. For example, I would trust the witness Miss Hawthorne with my very life. Which is why I can state that your assessment of her is completely wrong. That's enough. Unfortunately, Miss Faye, I cannot accept your explanation of the events. But why? This may be impossible for a beginner like you to understand. A court of law, evidence is everything. Even after I prove so much, is she going to get away with everything? Well now, the suspicion surrounding Miss Hawthorne has been cleared up. I'd like to proceed with the Mr. Wright! I'm sorry, Miss Faye. It totally slipped my mind. I'm really, really sorry. I know you believed in me, and I feel like I really let you down. Mr. Wright, what are you trying to say? There's something I forgot to tell you. What is it? That day. The day I met Doug Swallow. Right. Girl, you shouldn't see her anymore. It's none of your business. Telling for your sake, if you continue to see her, it's going to be bad news. You're lying. Just listen to me. There's something you need to know about that girl. This night, someone stole some poison from our lab. Oh, we're getting the full conversation! Poison? Same thing happened 8 months ago. Drug sample was stolen. She came to the lab that time too. Could only have been her. That girl is a thief. Stop it! Don't talk about her like that. Is it true? Did he really say that? That's ridiculous! There's one more thing after I pushed him that day. I got worried. Came back to have a look. She was standing by the body. And she was there. Dolly was right there. She crouched down next to him. What? She told me not to ever tell anyone about it, but... I'm sorry, Dolly. Your Honor, the defendant is... Miss Faye, you tell them. Dolly didn't do it. She's innocent. So Dolly stole poison 8 months ago too, huh? Put that together with Mr. Wright's testimony. There's only one possible conclusion. The defense believes that Miss Dahlia Hawthorne stole some poison on the night before she killed Doug Swallow. The night before. Naturally, her motive for stealing it was to kill someone. Miss Faye, if you're so certain of your theory, but let me ask you this. Mia, this is your last chance. Think carefully now. There's something that she desperately wanted to get back, therefore... Oh my god, she was gonna kill Phoenix! What? Crazy. There's one person that was standing squarely in Miss Dahlia Hawthorne's way. That person was... And that person was Mr. Phoenix Wright. Me? That's preposterous! After all, it was Doug Swallow that was murdered. Well, it's true that how things worked out. But let's remember that Mr. Swallow died of electrocution, not poison. The person that Miss Hawthorne was planning to poison was, in fact, you, Phoenix Wright. There's no one else that it could be. could that be? I thought Mr. Wright and Miss Hawthorne were in love. Poor Mr. Wright. This must be killing him. Hang in there. I'll bring her to justice, I swear it. I said before, the only thing Miss Hawthorne truly cared about was the one piece of evidence linking her to that incident 8 months ago. That's right. That bottle necklace is all she cared about. Even so, why would she go as far as to murder him? 8 months ago, just after the fall of that attorney in the basement cafeteria. Dahlia Hawthorne could think of only one thing. How to get rid of the bottle necklace as quickly as possible. No, it can't be! It was a pretty good move that she made too. The evidence was missing for a long time. There was just one big problem. Although she got him to hide the evidence, Mr. Wright refused to return it to her. To him, the tiny little bottle was a cherished treasure. He even showed it to everyone he met. You mean... That's why she tried to kill Mr. Wright? Correct, Your Honor. It was to retrieve that piece of evidence. That can't be true! Feeny, what a joke you are. Honestly, how can any woman ever count on you for anything? I even told you time and time again to keep your trap shut about me and that necklace. You disgust me. Miss Hawthorne! Appears that we're nearing the end of this trial. Fine, I can tell you plan on making me into a criminal no matter what I say. You are a criminal, Miss Hawthorne. We'll see about that. First, where's your evidence? Seems your sniveling little crybaby of a client has eaten the bottle as a snack. Well, Hey, old man, are you senile or something? Why don't you say something instead of sitting there with that dumb look on your face? Miss Hawthorne, what's happened to you? Are you really that shocked? Or do you prefer me? This way, Mr. Judge. Absolutely no proof. You treat a voluntary witness like she's a mass murderer. Well, I have nothing more to say. I'll be heading home now, if you don't mind. We're not finished. Fine. Then ask this nasty old hag to finish up already. Can't let her get away this time. Stop, Mia. If you keep on pushing without any evidence, you could pay the ultimate price as a lawyer. The ultimate price. Be forced to take off your attorney's badge forever, I'm afraid. What? No. You better think over carefully, Miss Faye. Or should I say, Miss Gray? Well, Miss Faye, could you provide evidence that would establish her guilt once and for all? If I mess up here, my career as a lawyer is over! Hold on. We can't end our career. To be honest, at this point I don't have any evidence that's well-founded. Even so, I'd rather lose my attorney's badge than let her get away with murder. Your Honor, the defense would like to present proof. Impossible! You can't possibly! What are we doing? Stupid woman. It's the opinion of the court that there has already been enough discussion. Therefore, I will allow only one piece of evidence to be presented. Just one. If you're unable to establish her guilt, then I'm afraid that a very harsh verdict will immediately be handed down on Mr. Wright. I understand, Your Honor. I could just imagine the headlines for tomorrow's paper. Up-and-coming lawyer plummets to earth before she gets the chance to soar. She was planning to poison Mr. Wright. If that's the case, then the poison was probably in there. Well then, Miss Faye, please present your evidence. Shows court irrefutable proof that Miss Hawthorne was planning to poison Mr. Wright. The cold medicine! The cold medicine! The cold medicine, dude!
Get it analyzed right now.
Here it is, Your Honor. The evidence that will prove her guilt once and for all. Cold Killer X! Phoenix Wright's beloved cold medicine. Does our rookie defense attorney have a bit of a cold? If I did, I still wouldn't take this cold medicine. After all, it's been poisoned. What? Remember what the defendant said in his testimony? I lost my bottle of it around lunchtime on the day of the accident. Always eat with Dolly, just the two of us. She was the one who took this bottle of Cold Killer X. And then she poisoned it, knowing that Mr. Wright was going to take some. Now you're really grasping at straws. After all, it was the victim, Doug Swallow, that was holding the medicine. I would like the court to recall the crime that happened here 8 months ago. Where did Miss Hawthorne hide the evidence? Huh? What are you talking about? 8 months ago, the poison was hidden in her bottle necklace, which she then gave to someone else for safekeeping. Someone she accidentally ran into the reading room, my client, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Yes, that's right. She did the same thing this time as well. After shoving the victim, Mr. Phoenix Wright left the scene of the crime. That's when the murderer, Dahlia Hawthorne, appeared. With her, she was carrying the poisoned bottle of Cold Killer X. This, of course, was so she could carry out her plan to murder Mr. Wright. I believe she did testify that she was going to meet with the defendant. Yes, and she heard that and saw everything that happened at the scene of the crime, including what the defendant and the victim were arguing about, and the cut electrical cable. That's when she realized, I can't allow Doug Swallow to live. She used the severed electrical cable to silence him forever. Fortunately for her, this is when the problem occurred. Mr. Wright, who she thought had left the scene, came back to check on the victim. On top of that, because of the power outage, some students showed up as well. It's hardly any wonder that she was, as put it, in a state of panic. Recall that she was carrying the bottle of poison cold medicine. She must have thought, what if they searched me like they did 8 months ago? 8 months ago. Yes, she disposed of the evidence exactly the same way as she did back then. She had someone else hold it, in this case, Doug Swallow. Oh, come on now, everyone. Surely you aren't fooled, are you? The stupid woman. She's nothing but a filthy, stinking liar. Right, Mr. Prosecutor? Huh? Yes, that's exactly right. Just pure desperation.
let's get it analyzed. Forensics, take it.
I wonder which one of us is the desperate one. So, Miss Hawthorne, it's cold medicine. I wonder if you wouldn't mind taking some. Well, Mr. Wright ate that necklace of yours, right? Now it's your turn to prove your evidence. What do you say? If I'm just a filthy, stinking liar, then there's no need to worry. So come on now. So come on, show us. I dare you to take some of this medicine right now. Mia Fey. Mia Fey. What did she say like 2 seconds ago? Do you think you've won? Well, do you, Mia Fey? That's just fine. For the time being, victory is yours. For the time being. I have a very long memory, you know. You and I will meet again. I'm certain of it. Well then, Mr. Judge, I'll see you later too, okay? Huh? Yes. Going to spend some little quality time with the men in blue now. I wish you all the best. Oof. It's finally all over. I refuse to accept this. Defense hasn't shown a scrap of evidence to support their outrageous claim. Even so, your witness seems to have accepted it. I don't care. I'm Winston Payne. I don't believe one word that this rookie lawyer has said. Well then, Mr. Payne, let me ask you this. Yes? Would you care to try this cold medicine? What? Just a little earlier, I could have sworn you said. It's alright, rookie. I would trust the witness, Miss Hawthorne, with my very life. Right. So if she's so trustworthy, then I'm sure there couldn't possibly be any poison in here, right? Well, you see, yes. And here comes the back pedal. Come on now, rookie killer. Show this rookie how it's done. How much trust do you really have for this woman? Are you willing to bet your life?
My hair! It's flying off! My beautiful hair! No!
Mr. Payne, about Miss Dahlia Hawthorne. Yes, Your Honor. I'll file papers for her immediate arrest. Tragic, but not surprising. I knew there was something suspicious about her from the very beginning. Don't lie, just admit you were wrong. By the way, Miss Faye. Yes, Your Honor. Is it just me, or did you and Miss Dahlia Hawthorne seem to know each other? Your Honor, whether we did or not has no bearing on this case. Very well. Mr. Payne. This can't be happening. It's a nightmare.
Oh, I didn't read that last part. Oops.
It seems Mr. Payne has lost his spirit along his hair. Along his hair. Defendant have anything further to say? Can't be true. My dear Dolly. Very well then. I believe I'm ready to pass judgment and bring this trial to an end. The court finds the defendant, Phoenix Wright,
not guilty. Let's go. Yay!
Court is adjourned. Mia, you're wonderful in there. Thank you for everything, Mr. Grossberg. During the verdict, I thought my hemorrhoids were going to explode like Mount Vesuvius. Mr. Grossberg, do you maybe think you could stop talking about them? That's rather rude. Anyway, this case really made me think. What does it really mean to have a relationship of mutual trust with the client? Perhaps it is we, veteran lawyers, who have lost the sight of this. Oh, Mr. Wright, congratulations. Thanks. You know, I was thinking. Go on. The dolly that I saw up there on the witness stand. I don't think that was really her. What? Yeah, the dolly I know could never have said those kinds of terrible things. Maybe she was like, I don't know, fake or something. Boy, this poor kid still hasn't got a clue. You need to forget about her, Mr. Wright, for your own sake. Yeah, you're right. That's probably for the best. Also, you need to relax a bit more. Try to grow up a little. But out of all my friends, everyone says I'm the most grown up.
What kind of company does this guy keep?
Right now, I'm studying to become a lawyer myself. That's what you keep saying. But I thought you were in the art department. Well, yeah, I am. There's a friend I desperately want to help. If I hurry, then I should still be able to save him in time. I see. Same as Faye. Laura is someone who can help people when they're in trouble, right? Mr. Wright, I'm still new at this myself, but I think that's exactly what a lawyer is. Okay, I'm gonna do it. I'll study my butt off and become a lawyer for sure. I hope we can see each other again someday. Maybe even this court.
And they do!
Oh! It's been 5 years since I was acquitted of all charges. Became a lawyer like I planned. I managed to save my friend. Mia's passed on to a better place. Oh. For me, this trial brings up a lot of painful memories. But it also brings up some very precious ones. Memories that I thought never rise to the surface again. Mia's gone now. But even so, I can hear her in my mind. Phoenix, no matter what, always believe in your clients. Court of law, your greatest weapon is your belief. 5 long years. Something has happened that makes me think back to her words of wisdom. And that's a story for another day.
Nice! That was a short episode, too. Yay, who is that guy? Who is that? I guess I'll find out next time. Okay. So that's a wrap for this episode. I'm scared to click, so I might start the next episode. So I don't want that to happen. Yeah, but that will be it for now. So next time, we'll continue. That was a fun, look into the past. I got to play as Mia. That was fun. I was like, oh, Mia, we get to see more Mia. It's pretty good. Okay, I'm excited to see what's gonna happen next and everything. But yeah, that'll be it for now. So hopefully I'll see you then. Goodbye.